Yesterday was your book launch and signing of To Die in the USA at the Granada bookstore in downtown Santa Barbara. What was the experience like for you?
Well, it's great experience because I am an anonymous local author, and to have the presentation in Santa Barbara. I have lived a long time here. I came in 65 to the UCSB as assistant professor, so now it's going to be 50 years I've been here, so I was very proud.
And for our listeners who haven't read the book, can you give us a little summary on what the book is about?
It's a combination of fiction and memoir, which is very fashionable. So it's a very ambitious novel combining the life of the character. It goes back to the 1930s, but mostly in the 60s and 90s as a Spanish exile in the United States. Is try to be experimental. There are many voices, there are many places.
Just to give a little background on the book, can you tell us about some of your experiences as a Spanish exile?
Exile for me, you always keep in mind that you're going to return to the country, and it was very painful because I left Spain under Franco dictatorship. So you always hoping, when the dictator is over, you come back. At the same time, you create your life and your new country through all hardships and everything. I'm very grateful to the United States. I have done a very successful life. I've become a citizen. So there's a transformation from exile to migrant. But, the exile is, that's why it's a little bit tragic, the novel. Some exiles, they even commit suicide. In my novel, it's a little mystery. We don't know if he killed himself or he was killed or whatever. There's a lot of suspense in my novel to keep the interest and the enjoyment of the reader, even if it's painful. Sometimes it's crude and brutal, but that's also the struggle of the immigrants. For me, was very successful. I did a study in New York. I did my PhD in NYU. I came here in 65 as a assistant professor to UCSB. We went through turbulent times in the 60s, 70s, but things changed for the good, in the country and in myself personally.
How did you come up with the title To Die in the USA? What made you change it from Isla Vista to USA?
Well, we didn't want to be opportunistic, and let the readers think it's about the tragic events that happened recently in Isla Vista, and also in respect for the dead young people and their parents,
Who is the main character of this book?
Well, the main character is a person called Victor Fuentes, like it's me. He appears drowned in Bodega Bay, and then someone, after they rescue the corpse, and a friend goes there, and finally at the university, he found his manuscript, the lost manuscript, and where this person, Victor Fuentes, was writing the novel of his life, and this friend of his changed the whole thing and tries to make his own novel with the other novel. So it's very original and complex. It's an original experimental novel, but no pretension at all, because I want to reach to the common people that have lived the same time or have the same experience. Everyone has this painful history, but it deals with a great humor, too. Sometimes black humor, but others just in the Spanish tradition, going back to Cervantes and the picaresque novel.
And so the main character is named after you, and the book is described as a fictional memoir. How much of the book is based on your experiences as a Spanish exile, and how much of it is fiction?
Well, that's the problem. It is based in my life, but the person in the novel and myself are two different persons, too. So it's kind of interesting experience.
What inspired you to start this trilogy?
Inspired, I've been a professor, and I read a lot, and I see movies since I was a kid. So I tried to make a novel, write a novel. I have so much experience, and to give as I say, account of the 20th century lived by an exile and a migrant, and also very interesting to write in the United States immigrant literature, migrant literature that now is becoming to appear more and more. So I thought that my life experience would be turning a very good novel of immigration, and it's, to help myself to understand myself better and the human nature and the mystery of life and death. As I say, it deals with death at the end, it's a tragedy. When it begins in a tragedy, I was a little bit inspired also by Citizen Kane and Ulysses, novelists, and offer something challenging and entertaining to readers and unique in many aspects.
What do you want your readers to take away from your writing?
Well, first of all, enjoy life, and so sometimes I'm influenced also by Kafka, and there's a crisis of the subject, and also the castle of my mind, going through depression, and so I would like many people not to spend a single second on depression if they suffer depression. So that would be better than. But the other thing is to enjoy reading and life, and to see that they also have their own novel. Everyone has his own novel. The problem is how to communicate to other people and enjoy.
Do you plan on writing any more books in the series, or is this the last book?
No, this is it. This is just a unique experience, and I have another one that is like 50. It's called American Biography by Bio-Graphy. It's 50 years of the immigrant in the United States, and I wrote it in 1 year. So I'm very interested. I'm well-recognized critic, but, my novel is not academic at all, There's so many campus novels. Mine deals a little bit of the campus, but that's not the purpose.
Do you enjoy fictional writing more than academic writing?
Well, it's more painful because it's enjoyment, but also painful, because you get more immersed on that. The other one, you try to be more objective, more detached, but both things I enjoyed a lot.